Hi, my name is David. I was from Puyallup, Washington in the Pierce County area, and now I'm from Snohomish in Everett. I recently just moved here. Voting is important to me for the upcoming election because my voice is important. The first step to making sure I am a registered voter in the state of Washington, and that's what I'm here for today.
My name is Willie Nobles. I'm from Tacoma, Washington. Voting is important to me because I believe our voice matters. Me being incarcerated for a long time, not being able to vote and not being able to be part of the process, I think that was the first thing that I wanted to get back when I got free. So for me, it wasn't even that hard to get done. So I'm just happy that we're here and we're gonna basically give them the steps to do the voting process the right way.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I'm ready to vote in the upcoming election. For the first step is to making sure I'm registered to vote in the state of Washington. Me and David, we partnered with Urban Lead, a Metropolitan Seattle, King County Coalition on Homelessness, to walk through registering to vote. So that's what we'll be doing today for you. We'll basically be walking through the steps just for you to be able to vote and not be, what do you think?
And not be scared to get your opinion out there, your vote, because that's what counts in making these changes and these laws that affect everybody around us today.
Yes. So let's go through the steps for him. Are you eligible or registered to vote, David?
Yes, I am.
Okay, me as well. Are you older than 16?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's good. How long have you lived in Washington?
Since 1989.
Okay, I've lived in Washington since 1978. And the reason we're giving you this and we're going through with it is just for you can be aware of the process. Very easy, and giving you the steps and tools you need to be successful in voting, because it's very important for us to vote. How long have you lived in Washington?
Since, 41 years.
Okay.
31 years.
I've also lived in Washington my whole life. So just being able to, the voting process coming back into effect and being able to vote now, because for so long we wasn't able to vote. So now us being able to vote it's amazing.
Yes.
Let's see. I am eligible to register to vote. I am older than 16. I am a U.S. citizen. I have lived in Washington for this many years. These are just part of the process that they'll go. So I'm just going to run through the whole thing, and we'll just go through the steps with them, and we'll also log on and
yes, sir.
Register to vote. I already registered to vote, but I need to re-register to vote so I can update my mailing address and contact information.
Yep, same here.
Okay. So let's walk through the registering the vote script for them.
Okay.
Okay, go to votewa.gov. It will ask you to put your first and last name and birth date in. Very easy process, y'all.
Yep.
Okay, first name. Last name. This is the register to vote, my voting information. So this will get you started right here when you submit this.
So I put my birth date in here.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't look how old I am. Okay, here we go. Hit submit, right?
Submit. Perfect. Okay, if you already registered to vote, it will take you to see your personal voter information. Mm-hmm. So this is your personal voter information right here.
Yeah, that's my my old address there, so I'm gonna need to change it right here, right?
Yeah.
Update my name and address?
Yes.
Here we go.
So now they're going through every step with us. They're able just to see the process.
So we're gonna go start the process. All this is correct. I want my ID again.
So this is how serious they are. He's really pulling his wallet out.
So they want my identification number for my license. I'll review it just to make sure I'm putting in the right information so I don't have to
Yes.
get sidetracked.
And then the next step, it would tell us to go to the drop-down menu under My Ballot on the left-hand side.
Driver's license is, they want the date when it expires, correct?
Yes.
Issued. They want the issue date. Okay.
And we're not even really that good with technology, but look at us.
Making it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Information in there. We hit next. Oh, they want me to. Oh, I skipped this. Okay, here we go. Am I a U.S. citizen? Yes.
There was a question, am I a citizen of the United States of America? He skipped it, so yes.
And am I older than 16? Now we're gonna go down here.
Yep, the drop-down menu.
What's it doing here? You cannot continue because you do not meet the legal requirements to vote. Oh, I take that. I said I'm younger. Hey, everybody has a dream. Right?
Now let's start at the second page. It says, it's voter registration form. It would ask you for your residential mailing address and then some contact information. Your residential address determines your voting district, aka what candidates you will be voting for. It can even be a cross street near you if you do not have an address. Your mailing address is where you will receive your ballot, and it can go anywhere in the world. It asked me for my phone number, email, but it was optional. I put my contact information in so that they can reach me if there's any issue with my voter registration or my ballot. They can let me know quickly rather than having to remember to check my email. So I think that's very important that we preach that to everyone, that the address, even if you don't have it, just in case, because we know what happens in the elections and stuff like that, so be able to reach you if anything goes wrong. So did you fill that part out?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Next.
There we go.
Perfect. After this, it should let you know that your confirmation that your information is being processed.
Mm-hmm. Now it's bringing it to a different mail-in address. Mm-hmm.
And then next.
Okay.
Perfect.
No.
You declared that the facts on this voter registration applications are true.
Yep.
I authorize the Office of Secretary of State to use the signature on my Washington State driver's license or ID card for voter registration purposes.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Next. Now, the residential address provided eligible to provide upcoming general. So now, or register to vote. You should get your voter ID card in the mail in about a week. This is how it will confirm that I enter my mailing address correctly. Now I can just sit back and relax until the election starts and I will automatically receive my ballot.
So here we go. I'm going to submit it.
Submit it.
I am registered to vote well in advance of the general election. So that takes a lot of stress off my shoulders when it comes to election day. Don't wait until election day. Register early like I did.
Go vote.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Julian Saucier.
My name is Aruna Taylor Kamara.
I'm from Kitsap County.
I'm from King County. So we're going to register to vote using the actual Washington State voter registration form. And you can find this form online at Secretary of State's website. You could print one of these forms off and then you could follow with us and register to vote yourself. I'm looking over here at this This registration form, I have a Washington State voter registration form. It's broken up into 6 sections.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. Pretty simple.
my personal information.
Yeah. Pretty much just your name.
Start with last name. If I can remember that, it's a super long one.
Yeah, you have a heck of a name.
How to spell it?
Date
The
of
first
birth.
name.
Don't look.
Those are necessary. It's necessary to have those pieces of information on the Washington State voter registration form to get registered to vote.
Your gender. Your residential address in Washington State. So, I live in Kitsap County. I'm putting my address there. But if people don't have an address, or an actual physical address, they can put Crossroads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For whatever reason they may not want to disclose that where they live or
Right.
their address, or they may not have a home in between homes at the time. They can just put cross streets.
They still live here.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome that you could put any, if you don't want to disclose your address, or for whatever reason it could be, you don't want to have your location on the voter registration form, you can put cross streets, and it doesn't have to match your identification. That's the best part about it, right?
Yes. And if you have a different mailing address, some people have PO boxes and different places where they get their mail. It has a place for that as well. Mine's the same, so I'm not going to worry about that.
Makes it a lot easier, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm definitely going to put my phone number and email address, because that way they can let me know if there's a problem with my ballot. So my ballot always counts.
that is nice. You could just sit back and relax. You don't have to constantly look out, go online and
Yeah.
search to track down your ballot.
Yeah.
I think I'll do that also. So I use my entire name for my email address.
Go way too long these days.
It's so long.
Okay. And section 2 is about our qualifications, and it's
Okay.
I am at least 16 years old and will not vote in a special or general election until I'm 18.
If there's 17 at the primary elections, they turn 18 in between the primary and the general, they will be able to vote in the general election.
Yeah.
It almost confused me though. I was just like, what's going on? So, yes. Oh, so it's third section here. Am I in the military, overseas? The overseas status, so you could send in your registration from anywhere, and that's the nice part about it. Gives you a voice no matter where you are. If you're stationed overseas, of course, now it's reiterating, but yeah, that's the cool part about it. So military, overseas. In the third section, I'm currently serving in the military. This includes National Guards and Reserves, and spouses or dependents away from home due to service. No, so, but thank you for the people that do serve.
Yeah.
I live outside of the United States. I'd be able to vote if I lived outside of the United States also. My vote matters, my voice, okay? I do not live outside of the United States, but people who do can still vote. Huh?
Now the next one's the identification, and this is your Washington State driver's license, or your permit, or a state ID. If you don't have those, you can go into one of those voting places, the voting centers, and bring. They'll tell you what you need, or you can check in advance what you might need to be able to vote. So
Yeah.
I have my driver's license,
That's.
so they allow me to drive in the state, which is pretty lucky.
I got mine driver. Do you remember your driver's?
Of course I do.
Oh, do you remember? That's impressive. All right, I'm gonna have to pull out my driver's license for that one. All right. Your IQ is just.
No, it's not. That it's not.
It is, I'm telling you. Oh, you could also put in the last 4 digits of your social security number to register, I guess, if you didn't have
Oh,
driver's license, permit, or ID on you.
You remember that, right?
I do. The last 4 at
Yeah.
least. If you're putting your ID, I'm just going to put in my last 4. All right. I hope I didn't say that out loud. Okay, and the fifth section, change of name or address. That's not necessary unless, of course, you did change your name or your address. Then you'd have to fill it out. And as many times as I've repeated in this segment that I have a super long last name, this might apply to me pretty soon. I have to change my name to Ocho Cinco or something of the sort, really. A couple syllables and finish it. So I'm not going to fill that out. How about you?
Yeah, I don't need to fill that out. Like people that get married or people that move. That's for them.
Move to a different location. Yeah.
And then finally, we have the declaration, this is where you're going to sign your name. And what's really important is that you sign your name consistently with the way you sign it on your ballot.
I've heard of a tip for this to make sure that your signature is correct and it all matches. Just take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then have it on your phone. Try to trace that picture.
Yeah. Mine's never the same. I'm lucky. It always counts. We can get it in before our deadline of 8 days before the election. If we're going to do it by mail.
Yeah.
Just put a stamp on it and send it in. But if you can't, what do you do?
You could look at this form and I'll flip it on over and I see a bunch of locations that I can contact, because you can go to the voting center up until the day of the general election, the day of, and fill out this voting registration form, and then also be able to receive your ballot and vote. But that you would have to be on site there. And at the back of this Washington State voter registration form, it gives you a list of locations that you can call. There's a 5x5 column here. There's a lot, and for all the different counties within Washington State.
So once you send in your registration, you can go to votewa.gov to check that you've been registered and to look for information regarding the next election and when your ballot's going to arrive and who your current representatives, legislators, and government officials are.
Hi, my name is David Shirley. I am a credible messenger for the FreeTheVote Washington, and I'm here to introduce everybody. So.
Hi, my name is Julian Saucier. I'm from Kitsap County.
Hi, my name is Aruna Taylor Kamara. I'm from King County.
My name is Willie Nobles. I'm from Pierce County.
And I'm also from Snohomish County. I want to ask a question to everybody today, and I'll start off with, how do we all know each other? And we are all system impacted, right? That's how we care about our communities and those that come after us, and we want to blaze those trails for those that are underrepresented and be represented.
Impacted, but not letting us suppress us. Trying to do something better for the community, really. That's what brought me here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a collection of people that are that have been released from custody and are now out making a difference, trying to make a difference for the people behind us and for the people that are out there. Organizations like Free the Vote, which is really pull us together, and we're credible messengers for the Washington Voters Voting Rights Registration Coalition.
Yes.
Sorry.
Awesome.
That's exactly why we're here today, just to get it out and give to the people and give them that voice that they need. That's people that's been impacted by the stuff that's been going on, to let them know that they can vote. So for me, it's like destigmatizing prison voting, right? Like being incarcerated for so long and not being able to vote, to now being able to have that chance to vote. So it's a blessing, and I think that's why we're here, just to be able to give that voice, to let people know that you can vote. There's nothing that's stopping you from vote. Like, go vote, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of people that have been impacted by the criminal legal system, and we're making a change. We made a change for our lives, other people's lives, and we're supporting. But you don't always get that information because there's a lot of misinformation out there. Things are extremely polarized, and we get used as a number for constituency or whatever it could be. But don't let that fool you. There is a lot of us. It's all of us, right?
Yeah. For sure.
So who wants to go next?
All right. So my question is, like, why is it important for you to vote? Why is it important for us to vote? And what does it mean to you to have your voting rights restored?
I'll start if you want me to.
Okay.
It's important to me to vote because my voice is important in my community, and for those that are left behind that don't have that chance to voice their opinion and whatnot. It's just it's one of those things where it feels good to be able to vote and have a say in the community that I live in. When you don't have that right, it's like you feel like an other, like something that that everybody gets to have a say in what you're doing, even though you're doing the hard work and putting in the time and becoming a valuable citizen. You still don't have that right, but now we do, and that it's what it means to me is it's huge, right? It's hope, right? It's hope for a brighter future, and to stop in my opinion, stop the numbers, right, from growing. Yeah.
Exactly. What y'all think?
Yeah, I think that the people that are most impacted by the justice system are the people that are incarcerated, and for them not to have a right or say is disingenuous, I think, on the part of how things have been set up for the system. Like be able to vote for judges or presidents or lawmakers, and again, we're the most impacted people by those laws and those thoughts and those processes, and kind of we become disregarded in a sense. Once you've been charged with a crime,
Yeah.
So I think it's voting has always been important to me. So it's just another way of to have that taken away. It's like just to lose your voice and then to get it back just felt pretty powerful.
Game changer. Yeah.
Makes me think of the makes me think of the 3/5 compromise, right? First they attempted to get our votes for constituency, and now it's knocking it out. It's all polarized when you really think of it, but it's doing this right here. It's going to reach out to somebody.
Yes.
I was reached out to. I didn't know, and there was misinformation. It's something when I talk to somebody that's been impacted by the legal justice system and they don't know that they can vote.
Yeah.
That was just a few years ago for me.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose, right? To register.
It shouldn't even be to the question no more. Why is voting important to you? It should be, why isn't it important to you?
Right.
Like it should be the other way around, because you can get, especially like we know how our communities are built. We know how the social structure is built, right? So for us to be able to play a part in that, for us to be able to get back, because we know how it stems from all these laws and stuff being in effect that put us in the box, right? Especially being incarcerated puts you in the box. You get out now, you can't vote, you ain't got your rights. So being able to have that, it's a game changer, right? It now puts us back in the driver's seat instead of them driving the car. Right now, we can be able to have our voice heard, and we can be able to say something that matters and that counts, and that's why it's so important. That's why we can't tell you guys enough how it is important to go vote. It matters, it counts. It's for us that we're gonna get this thing done.
Yeah.
Okay, when we ask the next one,
Let's get it.
What does it mean to your family and friends? All right, like my family always, very divided family. I grew up in a military family, not divided, but like we all were aware of elections very early. I was very early on. I was like, it seemed like my mom and dad always voted for different people. So like we started that with division, and then my brother and I were polar opposites as well. So I think all our like when we were able to vote, my brother and I were like on opposite sides of the spectrum. So we kind of balanced each other out as well. But it's just been the fabric. And I noticed while I was incarcerated, there was a lot of people that were in there that were following the election. And I was in there when Obama got elected, and there was angry people and people emotionally crying. It was pretty powerful. It was just like, it was huge. But we, couldn't vote, didn't have a chance to vote. But it's now, that stuff matters, and people. I get to tell people that knows that it matters. Because, to influence other people.
I think to my family, it makes me like a whole citizen. Because when when you make those bad decisions, you shouldn't be defined as those decisions, right? Imagine if you were that person that you were defined by the last decision that you made. I mean, think about all the names that we would be calling out there. And so to my family, I think it's important that, because they see I work. They see I work hard, and they see that I'm trying to make a difference in my community and those that come after me. And it gives them that extra sense of pride for what I've become and what my work is doing, right? So it's huge. It's huge. And my friends, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're here with me, and I know what it means to them.
Yeah, I know personally with my family, growing up, didn't really take it seriously because everybody had this misconception that the world is the way it is, the country is the way it is, our state is, the government. There's no way to make change. So I voted later in life. It's about like 25 or something of the sort, maybe 27. I'm 30 now. And it all started with me going to an event at the Civil Survival Project. I saw a woman, Tara Simmons. She wrote a bill. This was before she was a representative, and she changed politics. I seen a person write a bill, and I testified with that person to legislators, and we changed the law. And I thought, wow, it's a lot more easier than it seems. Sure, there's amendments that occur, but we can make a change. And ever since that point in my life, it was kind of a crescendo. That was the inflection point. And now I spread the word. Because it is a lot easier than it seems if we vote and stick together.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think for me, like growing up in the black communities, right, like that was always taboo, right? Like voting was always something that we didn't do because for some reason we thought it didn't matter. We thought that our vote wouldn't count. We thought that anything we do doesn't matter because we're already up against all the odds, right? So me being able to vote now and show my friends and my family and my wife and my kids, it's so big because it's stopping that. It's changing what the demographic was, right? So now it's changing to something different. Now they can see that, okay, black men are voting, Latino men are voting, minorities are voting, right? Like, so it's giving back to our community what we was lacking, right? And I think that's the biggest point for me when it comes to family and friends, just being able to show them that it does matter, it does count, right? And voting is very important. So that's the key component for me, is just being able to give back to the community, especially them community that's been lacking the knowledge or the wisdom or the understanding of what voting can really do, right? So just being able to get that back, that's all I needed. Just being able to help them, help me. So that's what was very important for me when it came to family and friends.
You know, that's honestly a good segue to the question that I wanted to answer and have everybody answer is, what do you wish the world knew about being impacted? And for me is, I had to just omit the last word of that sentence, impacted, because I know it was for so long with me. Made a mistake when I was 17, had a good trajectory, but it was when it impacted my mind. That's when I suppressed myself. And everybody told me that, even though I had a good trajectory, since I made a mistake, that life would be hard for me and I'd lose a lot of opportunities. Sure, that's true, but I neglected myself of the most opportunities, and I continued to make mistakes until a certain point in my life. A little bit later, when I found out there was other people that had made mistakes and changed their life doing big things.
Exactly.
Tara Simmons I spoke about earlier, she is disparately impacted by criminal legal system. She's re-entering. She was previously incarcerated. It's just a life-changing moment. So it's just, what the world knew about being impacted. If you're impacted right now, you're gonna have to know that it's gonna suck, but you need to get it out of your mind first. And there's opportunities for you if you find the right connection, the right network, and work towards those goals.
Yeah, I'd say something my mom told me, which I had no idea. Like, my mom's like, other people have gone through this, so can you. And I was like, they have, That was a little bit of voice and a little bit of push, but it was also like we're showing that it's going to be okay. It seems like the end of the world at the time, but I think it's getting better. Hopefully, I think there's a lot of people out there fighting and working for you, and I think a lot of people that have been formerly system impacted are out there doing the work. A lot of places, and I think I think we're gonna have a big impact, hopefully.
Yes.
But recognize that we can't take Washington for granted all the time. Like the votes are not close, and a lot of people don't vote.
Yeah.
So that makes your vote more. That makes your vote more important.
Yes.
But yeah, you gotta pay attention to what's happening and not take things for granted. And learn. You gotta learn about. It takes a little bit of time to figure out who you're gonna vote for and why you're voting for what you're voting for.
It's
I
an
think-
elevators.
Yeah.
I think that being, what I want people to know about being impacted is, trying to get rent an apartment, right? They don't want to rent it to you because you're a felon. Getting a job, you're impacted, right? That means that you are not getting what all the citizens in this state are getting, and you're being you're impacted. I mean, it's exactly what it is. I mean, you're stopped. You're stopped right in your tracks, and you're told you can't live like a normal person, even though you're paying your taxes and you're doing you're doing everything you're supposed to do. You can't live in this state, but pay us our money first, and live in your car. Whatever you got to do, that's where you're impacted. Every step you turn, you have to check that box, right? That's the impact. Imagine doing that. Your fancy car or your nice apartment or house, whatever. When they tell you no, you can't do that. That's when take those things away from you. Then you realize how impacted you could be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We have to get more to yes. Like you get out, you get no, and that's people are getting pushed to fail. And that's why we have to use our voice to make sure that there's more opportunities for people to say yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important. And even for me, like, what do you wish the world knew about being impacted? That's deep when you really like dissect it and just like understand. Because for me, I just want the world to understand we're human, right? Like, believe in second chances, that people change, right? Because impacted is only because they're saying we're impacted, right? Because if we can do everything they can do, we can do the work, we're doing the work, we're changing our lives around. We may have done something when we was childish or stupid, whatever the case may be. But for me, it's that humility out of it, right? That's what I want the world to know. Because if we can change that, sky's the limits, right? There's nothing we can't overcome if they just give you a little bit of humility, because a lot of times it's them really bringing us down, right? So that's the impact for me. I don't really focus too much on how I'm impacted. I focus more on giving back and helping and letting them understand that we do believe in second chances. We do believe things that can change. That's why we're with ACLU. That's why we're with Credible Messengers. That's why we're doing all the work with these organizations in the community that we're doing. So for me, that's what I believe. I believe they need to change, right?
Well, he says second chances, right? I also believe that what about those that never got their first chance, right? That came from areas that, where they were never afforded the opportunity to be able to have a first chance. So that's also important too.
Yes.
So
it all comes together. So I think for us, like at the end of the day, like we're here and we're letting the people know and we're letting the communities know, like voting is important. Like we want you to get out and vote. It didn't hinder us. It didn't stop us from doing the work that we're doing. It only motivated us, right? It only gave us that engine to continue to do this work. So that's why we're here. And we're telling you, a lot of this panel that we've been incarcerated, we've been under the gun, we've been thrown away, right? But now we're changing things around. And these organizations, ACLU and Incredible Messengers, they're helping us get back. So that's the beauty.
one more thing. I just want to say one more thing about impacted, right? Imagine, I was 19 when I went in. I was a kid, right? 19 years old. I got out when I was 45. Not the same person. Ask yourself, are you the same person you were when you were 19? You know, at 50 years old now, or whatever the case may be. That's also something that's important too. Is how the mind shift works, right? Yeah.
So what we need to tell them? Go vote.
Yeah.
Go vote.
Go
Let's go vote.
Go vote.
Let's do it on the count of three, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Go vote.